Check, check. Yep. Thanks, everybody. Reverend Bill is trying to find the sweet spot between getting here at 10:02 and not getting a speeding ticket, but he did confirm that he's on his way. We do need to have our minister present for the meeting to start, so hopefully it'll just be a couple more minutes. He did text me, so should be along shortly. We're going to be circulating some attendance just to ensure that we've got a quorum, so if you could take your time and do that, get settled. If you want to grab one more refill, should we get it going here in just a few more minutes. Thanks. Oh, excellent point. Are you okay to cover for him, Grant, or are you? Okay. All right, so Grant's just agreed to take us up to the dance competition when Bill will then take over. So I think we can call the meeting to order then. Okay, and Kes is just pinch hitting and is going to help us with slides. Thanks, Kes. And Claude's got the sound. It's in stereo today. How is that working for everybody? Sounds okay? Great. Okay, and I think, well, it might have been Bill, maybe not. That's all right. Okay, welcome to the AGM for Red Deer Lake for March 29th, 2026. Here's our agenda this morning. We are going to be approving the agenda shortly and then doing some explanation on how voting will work. We'll be electing a congregational chair, so I'll be with you at the beginning of the meeting, then I'll turn it over to the congregational chair for the majority of the meeting. I'll have a couple of cameos. You can play Where's Waldo and see if you can spot me throughout the meeting a couple of times. Then we'll be approving last year's minutes, which were circulated a while ago. Hopefully you had a chance to look at those. Reviewing the finance statements and passing motion on those. There was a meeting last week that was more detailed around finances. Hopefully you were able to attend. We have a small update to our alcohol policy, which has lapsed and needs to be brought up to date to be in order for us to be able to enact it appropriately. Then elections, renewals, wonderful slideshow celebrating some of our work, and then our blessing. So hopefully we'll get you out here in good time, but sure appreciate you all sticking around today and to have so many folks here. Okay. I guess I need a motion that the agenda be approved and then a seconder and a vote. If I could have a motioner. Ravi and Dave Churchill, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. So for voting procedures, it's been our long-standing convention culture here to allow those who brave the winter storms, or in this case, the gray skies, to come out in person, and we have some people online joining us perhaps, that we extend voting privileges, I should say, to everyone present. But we do need, as those who are congregational members, we need to vote to extend that offer to those who are here. So we've got I'd like to propose we do that, but even better, have someone move that as our next motion. Andy, sorry, Kes, could you advance one, please? Thank you. So the motion, if it's tough to read, is moved and seconded that all those present will be able to vote in this meeting. And I think I saw Andy and Wilma out front. Got it? Okay, all in favor? Also carried. Thank you. Very good. And welcome, Bill. Grant said he would cover for you until we get to the dance competition portion, and then you're on your own. Excellent. Okay, Kes, if you could advance one more, please. So as I alluded to, for the actual meeting, our practice is to have a congregational chair, someone elected from among those present, be nominated and then a motion and approval to have them run the bulk of the meeting this morning. And Al Pollock fairly kindly offered to do so, but we also wanted to pause in case there's anyone else who's really got a hankering. These are really comfortable chairs, probably pretty similar to what you're sitting in, but if you'd like to put your name forward instead, we can have I don't know, an Indian leg wrestle or something, or if not, just so you know, Al has very kindly agreed to chair the meeting if that works for everyone. So can I ask, are there any other nominations from the floor? Okay, seeing none, we'll need to end nominations first. So could I have a motion then that we end nominations? Thank you, Rob. And a seconder, Michelle. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. And with that, on to the next, please. Could I have a motion and seconder to accept Al Pollock as the chair of the pastoral charge, please? Darlene, and then Al. No, sorry, Al. Martin, thanks. So many Al's in my life, Al. Very good. And all in favor? Wonderful, thank you. We are cruising through. So, yeah, I'll invite Al to come up and join me. He's well rehearsed. I saw him practicing his lines out in the link earlier. Thank you and welcome, Al. I'll maybe have you sit on that side if you don't mind. And pass you the mic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I'm absolutely amazed. I had a 5-page election speech already. And so, again, welcome to the meeting, and thank you very much for staying with us. We're going to proceed instantly to the election of our pastoral charge secretary. Britta has agreed to do this task for us. However, we are obliged to ask for nominations from the floor. Are there any nominations for pastoral secretary? Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Dave? All in favor? Carried. And thank you, Britta, for being our congregational secretary. Okay. Rob, quiet. Yes, we do need another motion, and when you make a motion, please give us your name so that we get that correct in our minutes. Moved and seconded. Do we have a motion to accept Britta as secretary? And seconder? All in favor? Thank you. That's carried. The minutes of our last meeting have been circulated, and if there are any errors or omissions, I'd like to hear that now. If not, could we have a motion to accept the minutes of our last AGM? Dave and seconder? Keith. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, we have approved the minutes, and now I would like to call on Mike to give us the report from the financial team and board.
Now? Okay. story. Even though I saw the agenda, I didn't know I was going to be doing this. So I'll try to recall what happened last week at the Finance Forum. So early March 3rd, we emailed out the financial statements, the budget, and a treasurer report. We had a Finance Forum last week, just real high points. We've done a lot of positive things over the last couple of years. Big one was a campaign, and we've eliminated the bank debt. We've made some real progress on reducing utility costs through energy retrofits, and also changing the pricing we do on EasyMax, also changing the insurance premium by increasing the deductible. So we've made some gains there. There's some real vibrant fundraising and community building events going on, and our rental revenues have gone up. Oh, okay. Our rental revenue has gone up and covers a good portion of our property expenses. Some of the challenges are that our expenses, it just takes a certain amount of money to run an operation this size. About 2/3 of our expenses are personnel. And, we did cost of living increase and a few more hours for rentals, but we don't have a lot of wiggle room there. We don't, things like assessment is just given to us by United Church and Chinook Winds. We don't have much wiggle room there. So the challenge going forward is going to be, do we have enough capacity, being mostly head count here, in order to have donations meet our general overhead? And that will be the challenge going forward. Our cash position at year end is such that we probably have about 3 years of cash left at our current operating deficit level before we have a liquidity crunch. But for now, a lot of positive things and still some challenges going forward. That's everything I had. What? Do I do? I think the chair does something. Oh, okay. Thank you, Michelle. Okay. I'll make a motion that the financial statements for the year ended December 31st, 2025 be accepted.
Do we have a seconder? Keith, same as last year. All in favor? Motion is carried.
And I will make a motion that the budget that was circulated for 2026 be accepted.
Seconder for that motion? Fran. All in favor? Thank you. That motion is carried. And thank you, Mike, for your excellent years of service. Now, having already quieted Rob, I'd like to call you forward, Rob, for a report. Yeah, sure. Want to sit
down? Good morning, everybody. You're probably wondering why I'm bringing up the alcohol policy today, and there are a number of reasons. The first one is, of course, that I had a rental meeting here where we were discussing future rentals and what we could do, and I was informed that we have an alcohol policy, which I confess I'd completely forgotten about. Secondly, the second point was that the policy automatically lapsed in 2021. Thirdly, our circumstances have changed since we introduced the policy, and now, of course, I've forgotten what the fourth one was. And finally, well, there were also occasions where we weren't even in accordance with the policy. And finally, since the original policy was approved by the congregation, it can only be amended by the congregation. That's why I've got you all here today on this. So what I did, sorry, let me just back up. When I refer to changes in our circumstances, I really mean our increased emphasis on third-party revenues. Mike talked about it last week. We're trying to get our rental revenues up, so they're really covering all our property costs. So we're actively trying to go after or trying to engage with more potential renters. So I thought that when someone comes in and rents, we show them our alcohol policy. So I tried to adjust it to be a little bit more flexible for those people, for those renters. So what I've done on the slides, well, that's not a very good slide, but this one, I've really tried to portray the amendments I'm proposing to the original policy. And it might be easier if I just referred to 2 or 3 of them. What we had was the original policy said that alcohol could not be served in the sanctuary at all. Well, given our turkey supper and third-party events, I added a clause saying, except when served as part of the meal, to give us a little bit more flexibility around that. Can everybody hear me? Okay, good, okay. Originally, there was a restriction that alcohol could only be stored overnight. Now, you can imagine if you're hosting a wedding here, do you really want to be bringing in stuff first thing in the morning and then taking it out late at night? So I just adjusted that so it's a little less restrictive. I changed it for short periods before and after the actual event. And then another one was we had a clause in there which said that food must be available when alcohol was served. And I attended we had a mini sort of open house for wedding organisers back, I don't know if it was a year ago or 18 months ago, a while ago, and I certainly had a glass of wine. They served wine. Someone told me there was food, but I must have missed out because I didn't see any food. So I just changed that wording a bit to be a little less restrictive. So they were the major ones, I believe. So are there any specific questions? Sorry, Britta. Sorry. Oh, what about that? Oh, yeah. We also put a clause in there saying the board administers the policy, which means the board will propose changes down the road, if they're applicable. Sorry. Instead of the congregation. Right. So it's a bit easier to change then. So do people have any questions they want to ask me on this? I would say a lot of time went in this originally. I can't hear you, Marge. Sorry.
Does the person that is renting the space and serving alcohol still need to get their own liquor license?
Yes, they do. Yes. Now, what we're going to do, Marge, we're going to show them our policy. We can't enforce that policy because we're not going to have volunteers at weddings for 12 hours seeing what's going on. So we're just going to show it to them. Okay. Fran?
Did you say something, or did that say something about the availability of taxis?
I did. I took that out. And because we can't dictate to third parties their transportation arrangements. I felt, and that's too restrictive. We're trying to be a little bit more flexible, accommodating for third parties, but still being within the spirit of the United Church. Anything else there? Okay, can we put the motion up, please? Okay, I'm going to move, and I'd like to change this a little bit, Britta. I'm going to move that the updates to the alcohol policy be accepted and a revised policy issued with a review date 5 years. I think it's 5 years into the future. Does that make sense, Britta? Okay. So can I get someone to move that? Oh, did, didn't I? Sorry. Yeah. Seconder? Okay. All in favour? No. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. An important issue taken care of. Moving on to election of officers. And there'll be another opportunity for you to volunteer. Hopefully this time you won't pass up on the option to volunteer. Our continuing members of the Board of Trustees are, as you see, Rob, Jody, Deb, and Keith. So we don't need any motion here. This will be your ongoing Board of Trustees for the next year. First opportunity to volunteer. Yeah. A round of applause for the Board of Trustees. Okay, election and renewals. We have some board members that are continuing and some that are not because their term is up. And we have Chinook Wind representatives as well. So the next slide, please. The church board continuing members are, as you see on the screen. And I would now kindly entertain other people who might like to volunteer to serve on the board.
We got another slide. Retiring members.
Oh, sorry about that. The retiring members are Mike, who you just heard from, Dave, and Shelby.
Thank you so much. Shelby had to step down for personal reasons a while back, but was much appreciated while she was here, so we wanted to include her on the slide. But both Mike Jackson and Dave Churchill have just finished 3 two-year terms in a row, 6 in total, and on behalf of your board, I can't thank either of them enough. They really made it possible, both of them in their own way, for us to get to where we are today. So we asked them in advance how big of a deal. I had a t-shirt cannon, they said no. But what we did instead is we prepared a couple of certificates that I'll give to both gentlemen after the service is over. Once again, just can't thank both for their leadership, their friendship, and their guidance through what's been an unprecedented last 6 years. So if you'd please join me in applauding Dave and Mike. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Zach.
So, board term renewals. We have Doug, who is into his last 2 years. It's a 5-year commitment when you sit on the board, correct? 2 at a time. Okay. Thank you. Rob, again, till March 2028, and Dave Johnson. So these will be continuing board members for another 2 years. So we need someone to move and second that Doug, Rob, and Dave be renewed for the last 2 years. I beg your pardon? Okay. Moved by Andy, seconded by Valerie. All in favor? Thank you. Carried. Okay, you ready? Hands up those that would like to join the board. It's an easy job. All you have to do is sit there and listen to the board chair. So, do we have any volunteers to sit on the board?
We have another slide in the event that no one volunteers that will ask your permission to have the board recruit for this, but I thought I'd take the opportunity to just explain a little bit how our board works and to encourage you to think about it if you're not prepared to do so today. Our board cadence has been to meet every month through Zoom, usually on a Tuesday night, I believe, sorry, we switched to Wednesday because McDougall does theirs on Tuesdays and we need a minister present. Generally speaking, they run for an hour to two, depending on what our agenda includes. We try to do lots of roundtable discussion to just take the business that is happening at the church under advisement and make the best choices that we can for our community together. I often say at the end of the meetings how grateful I am to work with the people who are on your board. It is a privilege. It gives me more than what I expect when I come to it, and it's a wonderful way to give back to this community. So if you're looking for a way to help out, noting that we're in a bit of a precarious position from a quorum perspective. We need to have a certain number of people present for the meetings to be official, and if we run too thin of a slate, we may have to start canceling meetings or not be able to pass motions. So please give it some thought, either now or you're welcome to speak to me or to Rob or to Britta or to Dave or to Andy. At the back, yeah, sorry, I can't quite make out who it is. Oh, it's Lori. Sorry, Lori. Okay, going once to Lori. Thank you very much, Lori. That's wonderful. There are other ways that, I mean, the blessing and curse of Red Deer Lake, as all of you present know, is it kind of just runs itself. There are so many people who are so good at doing the things they like doing here and helping out with others. I know everyone's stretched, but if anyone else would be interested in joining, you're welcome to. Even if it's not today, we certainly could use one or two more people. As could as you'll see in an upcoming slide, the M&P team could use a tag out or at least some help. It's running pretty thin right now. And the AV team, who's doing a wonderful job as always, could also use some assistance. And since I'll try and hand this back to you for the last time, Al. While I'm at it, I'd also like to thank our incredible staff officially who has been behind the scenes helping us as we figure out this brave new relationship with our friends at McDougall and Ogden together and making the most of this wonderful facility with Mike's help and others, working with volunteers, coordinating things with Dave as we do incredible projects like the renovation of the old sanctuary at the back. And also, and I'm so glad I remembered, to my dear wife, Michelle, and Britta, who also helped for putting together today's program and making these meetings run as smoothly as they do. If I could get a round of applause for all of those. Thank you. Sure, thanks. Thank you. So I think that's enough gilding the lily. For anyone who might have been thinking of joining in this meeting, if you're still thinking about it, you're welcome to wait for another time. But if I could have, how should we do this, Britt? Do you have a slide for a new, okay. Very good. I think it'd be only appropriate if Alistair were to, move. Okay, Alistair, thank you, under duress, has moved his lovely wife, Lori, and a seconder over to Gary, thank you. And all in favor? Thank you. And thank you so much, Lori. That's excellent. Just wonderful. Oh, and as I mentioned, Britta, she also was a member of the Chinook Winds for 2 years as well, has decided she has had to step down, but as I understand it, that was a wonderful commitment and a real push from that organization to try and get young people involved. So thank you for your service in that regard, Britt. And thanks, Al.
I don't know if I'm on. There's a motion needed to be made for recruitment by the looks of it.
So Ben has moved. Ben hasn't moved. We need someone to move and second that the board has the power to appoint members as needed to the board.
I'll move.
Dave? All in favor? Great, thank you, carried. I think this has already been, no, it hasn't been covered. So the continuing members to the Winds Regional are Wilma Clark and Alistair Wilston. No further nominations are necessary here. We have 2 members serving. Yeah, round of applause for continuing service here. So I think Doug jumped ahead a little bit and has done all of the thank yous. So unless there is something that has been missed in this agenda, we are ready for termination. A little bit more. No, Doug.
And maybe one more thank you for Al for pinch hitting this morning. Okay, I'm going to give you the vocal voiceover of just some slides that Michelle pulled together to celebrate who we are this year, and invite you to enjoy the slides. We had choir and special music, sound and soul program, our worship and joint affirming service. For Affirm, we had a Rainbow Elders special service that came in, and our affirming ministry. Our contemporary spirituality programs that Reverend Dana put on, such as the Festival of Lights, and our Lenten art program, and our 100-year celebration and fashion show, and the Scrooge play that was last year's exhibit. The hospitality team behind the scenes doing so many things to keep us all fed and going. The fundraisers, in particular, the market, and apple pie baking bee, and the property team out hard at work twice. A lot more than that, Dave. The On the Edge, our very successful homegrown concert series, and Benita and Claude, thank you for all your wonderful leadership with that and your team. Continues to sell out and delight folks. Celebrations and weddings. A couple of my kids rolled through here, abusing the alcohol policy, we now realize, that was not even in force. Shameful. And big thanks again to Mike for his vision as we paid off our mortgage. Let's have a round of applause for that. And Dave for the many energy efficiency programs. And for those who didn't catch it, we did get the majority of the grant money back that we were hoping for. We fell short on the solar, but got everything else we were hoping for brought through. So that was a wonderful investment. As you saw this morning, we have choir that's been reading monthly and regularly, which we really appreciate. And if you like choir, please, now would be the time to clap for them as well. Okay, and where we're going, we are working with a new shared ministry model, as I alluded to, with the Ogden and McDougall Church. We are trying to become a known location for weddings, events, and other rentals. We have a unique location here with a beautiful mountain view, and like it or not, strange but easily accessible once you've found the secret turn, accessed thanks to the ring road. We are continuing our food ministry program, including extra meals for outreach now as well. As I mentioned earlier, we are still looking for some other members. The ministry and personnel team, if you're interested in that, you can talk to me or to Jody or to Claude. On the AV team, Britta heads that up, and Kessa and Claude again. Dave pinch hits from time to time too, and Alistair, yeah, thanks Alistair, and our young lad who comes, whose name escapes me at the moment, Drew. Thank you. Drew also helps us out on an occasional paid basis as well, and he's wonderful. So it's a beautiful space that we're in, but as you can tell as I speak to you through this microphone, so much more enjoyable when we've got such a great audio and visual team. So thank you folks again for doing that. And then also worship team. As we switched to the team ministry, our worship team got to the stage that it wasn't sustainable, so the ministers kind of shouldered that. But I think it would be good if there are people who are interested in worship as well. I know the ministers could always use a hand with preparation and thinking and setup and so forth for that. So if it's okay, Bill, I'll have people head your way if they're interested with that, or you can speak to me as well and I can get in touch with the right people. Okay. Now I'll turn it over to Al, who gets to terminate the meeting.
Are there any other matters that were missed? Going once? Going twice? Thank you very much. I'm ready for the motion, doesn't have to be seconded, to adjourn. Dave, thank you. Just before I turn things over to Reverend Bill for a closing prayer, I wanted to add a quick footnote to what was said this morning about Grant Glessing, who passed away too late in the week for us to have something on the weekly blurb. Grant was born in 1929, December 25th. He always jokingly said that he was born just after Jesus Christ. He was a man of great humor. He served both this church and Midlands Church very, very faithfully. And his service will take place tomorrow at 2:30 at McGinnis Holloway Home, Elbow and 50th. So, love to see you there, and sorry about the late announcement. Reverend Bill. Well, the motion to adjourn was carried.
Can I have 2 minutes before I bless? First off, just to piggyback, I counted it a privilege actually to be able to meet Grant prior to his passing. A fantastic man that I was able to visit on a couple of occasions, and really speaks to the longevity of the roots in this community. And just how important this place is to so many, which I try to remind you of every Sunday that I am here. I wanted to speak a bit more about the request to consider being on the board, though, because Doug did a fantastic job of making it sound easy. And I like it when people do that because it often is interpreted as a life sentence, but it isn't. But the things are starting to emerge now at the national level and the regional level. I know that Wilma attended a Sunday morning that was hosted actually by our McDougall site for the United Churches research on Toward 2035, they're calling it, which is sort of their projections on the next 10 years for the United Church of Canada based on the data that they have and, statistics and that kind of stuff. And one of the lessons that I've certainly talked with Doug about, I think, from the early stages of all this information is that there is going to be a lot of reliance on congregations to chart their course well, and to do it with some intention and some really strong focus on what is it that makes us who we are, that we don't want to lose in the process. right? So I know that asking people to serve on a board is a laborious thing sometimes to be received, but the next 10 years are really going to matter for this community. And for the shared ministry and for everything that we do and hope to do as a community of faith. So the next 10 years are going to be important years for the board to have enough people on it that are willing to wrestle with difficult questions and difficult trends in a way that hopefully will also keep this community feeling like the family that it is, and the community that it is, and maintaining the focus that you wanted to have. So please really consider, it is not a life sentence, but the next 10 years are going to be very, very important for this community of faith. So if you are even on the fence about it, I would love to talk to you. One of my favorite passages in Scripture comes from the book of Ruth. Perhaps you were here for such a time as this. And I believe each and every one of you has something to offer to the work ahead of us over the next decade. So please consider, and even if you don't sign up for the board, keep being the amazing community that you are, because it's humbling to serve with you, honestly, and all of the gifts that you bring to this work. And we don't want to have to ever question whether or not we're going to be able to do that with all the wonderful forward momentum we are seeing right now in this congregation. And so with that, I just have to say the blessing. Let this, oh, sorry, go ahead, Wilma. Mike's coming up behind you, sorry, Mike. Yeah.
Alistair was also there with me, and Alistair is quietly sitting at the back. But thank you for...
I'm sorry, Alistair. I was sitting behind you guys, so I don't even know. Yeah.
And
Yeah, so because nobody will have heard what he said, but I have young ears and did hear, he said he's glad that was actually brought up, because that vision and that kind of presentation that was had a couple of weeks ago is very important to this congregation and our momentum as well.
I just also want to say how proud I am of the young people that are in this congregation, because most congregations don't have young people.
All right, I'm going to get in trouble if we don't close this off. You moved on the let's go home, so let's do that. Sure. I don't know the answer to that question. Yep. Okay, let's pray and get out of here. God of grace and mercy, we give you thanks for this day and for all of these people that have gathered here, and for the love and care and compassion and support of this community of faith that does it better than any other community I know. For all of the gifts and skills that have been shared, for all of those who have served faithfully and are stepping into a time of well-deserved rest from the work, for those who are coming in to new roles and new leadership, for all of the gifts and skills that are deployed in service to your people throughout this community, we give you thanks. As we enter into this Holy Week, keep us mindful of your movement in us and among us. Help us to journey faithfully to the cross and into the promise of resurrection, trusting that in all of the highs and lows of life, you are always holding us in grace and mercy. Bless us as we go out into this week and into this world, we pray. Amen.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Bill.